Hello again, NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in the NCAC. I'm your host, Brett Billhart. On this week's show, we'll take a look back at all the action from across the North Coast Athletic Conference for the week ending on Sunday, April the 21st. We'll open this week's show by recognizing our weekly award winners for both men's and women's track and field. First, for the men, Oberlin Jr. Jimmy Taylor ran a personal best time of 1:55.94 in the 800-meter run to finish second overall at the Baldwin-Wallace Sparky Adams Invitational and earn the NCAC award for distance and middle distance events. The weekly award for sprint and hurdle events went to Kenyon Jr. Carlo Gagliardo, who led the Lords to the team championship at their annual Spring Invitational by winning both the 100 and 200 meter dash events in 11:05 and 22:10 respectively. He also ran a key leg on the second place 4x100 meter relay that crossed the line in 42:80. His times in the 200 and as a member of the 4x1 both established Kenyon College records. The final men's weekly award for field events went to DePaul freshman Marcus Dozier, who led the Tigers to a fifth-place finish at the Rose-Hulman Twilight by finishing second in the discus with a heave of 151 feet 4 inches, which is currently the top mark in the NCAC. The first women's award for distance and middle distance events went to Worcester senior Erin Plews-Ogan, who broke the tape in the 3,000-meter steeplechase in 11:23.94 to lead the Scots to a second-place finish at the Kenyon Spring Invitational. Worcester senior Stephanie McShane collected the weekly award for sprint and hurdle events after the Grosse Pointe, Michigan native won the 200-meter dash at the Kenyon Spring Invite in 26:82. She also placed fourth in the 100-meter dash in 13:23 and ran a leg on the third-place 4x100 meter relay. The final Women's Weekly Award for field events went to Ohio Wesleyan sophomore Megan Gentle, who led the Bishops to a fourth-place finish at Kenyon by finishing second in the shot put with a toss of 11.27 meters. The first events of the 2013 NCAC Track and Field Championships will be contested this weekend, April 27th through 28th at Ohio Wesleyan, with the men competing in the decathlon and the women in the heptathlon. The 2013 NCAC Track and Field Championships will then be contested the following weekend, May 3rd and 4th at Kenyon. We'll now shift our attention to the links, where a majority of NCAC men's teams competed at Worcester's Nye Intercollegiate at Worcester Country Club, and a pair of women's squads competed at Worcester's Mohican Classic at Mohican Golf Club in Jeromesville, Ohio. The Wittenberg men captured the team title at the Nye Intercollegiate with 609 strokes, while Worcester was third with 640. Denison was fifth with 649. Kenyon was sixth with 654, Wabash tied for 7th with 664, Hiram was 15th with 740, and Oberlin was 16th with 987 strokes. Wittenberg freshman Sam Geis did collect NCAC Men's Golfer of the Week laurels after earning co-medalist honors with teammate Ben Hogenkamp, after Geis posted a 76 on Saturday and a 74 on Sunday for a 36-hole score of 150. Additionally, the Allegheny men finished third of 6 teams at the Rochester Fred Kravitz Invite with a score of 625. The Gators were led by junior Oliver White, who tied for the individual lead with a 2-day score of 149, including an opening round 70. However, White failed to earn event medalist honors due to a tiebreaker. In women's golf, Worcester and Hiram competed at the Mohican Classic, with the Scots finishing 4th with 803 strokes, and the Terriers placing 5th with 816 strokes. The weekly NCAC award for women's golf went to Worcester freshman Charmaine Chenoy, who led the Fighting Scots at the event by finishing in a tie for third with a 36-hole score of 179. The Calcutta, India native opened the event with an 87 on Saturday and then fired a 92 on Sunday. The first event of the 2013 NCAC Golf Championship Series will be contested this weekend, April 27th through 28th, at Granville Country Club, with Denison serving as the host institution, while the second event of the championship series will take place the following weekend, May 4th through 5th, at Oak Haven Golf Club, with Ohio Wesleyan serving as the host institution. Moving on to tennis, we will now unveil the brackets for the 2013 NCAC Tennis Championships, which will be held at Oberlin College this weekend, April 26th through the 28th. The tournament begins with quarterfinal matches for both genders on Friday, semifinal and consolation semifinal matches on Saturday, and the championship and final place matches on Sunday. Each day will begin with women's matches at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. and conclude with men's matches at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. We'll now announce the seeds. First, for the women, DePaul has emerged as the number 1 seed and will open play on Friday morning against number 8 Ohio Wesleyan at 9 a.m. In the other 9 a.m. matchup on Friday morning, number 4 Oberlin will square off against number 5 Allegheny. The remaining opening round contests on Friday will begin at approximately 11 a.m. and will feature number 2 Denison versus number 7 Wittenberg and number 3 Kenyon versus number 6 Worcester. In the men's tournament, Kenyon was tabbed as the top seed and will take on number 8 Ohio Wesleyan on Friday at approximately 1 p.m. In the other 1 p.m. match on Friday, number 4 Allegheny will take on number 5 Wittenberg. The remaining first-round men's matches will begin at approximately 3 p.m. on Friday and will feature number 2 DePaul versus number 7 Wabash and number 3 Denison versus number 6 Oberlin. Fans, please note that no tournament match will begin until 3 courts are available for that given match. And for more information on the 2013 NCAC Tennis Championships, you can visit the official championship homepage, which can be accessed on either gender's homepage on the NCAC website. Let's now turn our attention to the lacrosse field, where the inaugural NCAC men's tournament field is now set following the conclusion of the regular season conference schedule last week. Denison earned its 14th all-time NCAC championship with a pair of wins last week as the Big Red knocked off arch-rival Ohio Wesleyan 11-8 on April 17th and then concluded the regular season with a 27-0 victory over Hiram on April 20th. The Big Red will enter the inaugural NCAC tournament as the top seed and will host 4th-seeded Kenyon tonight, April 23rd, at 7:30 p.m. in a rematch of the April 10th contest that saw Denison come away with a 6-3 road victory. In the other semifinal contest tonight, Ohio Wesleyan will host 3rd-seeded Worcester at 7 p.m. The Battling Bishops have knocked off Worcester 9 straight times, with their last loss against the Fighting Scots coming in the 2004 season. The tournament championship game will be played on either Friday or Saturday, depending on who is hosting. If Denison hosts, the game will be played on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. If Worcester hosts, the game will be played on Saturday at 1 p.m. And if OWU hosts, the game will be played on Friday night at 7 p.m. You can follow the tournament action with live stats, video, and audio feeds by visiting the official tournament website on the NCAC men's lacrosse homepage. In women's lacrosse, Wittenberg knocked off Denison 12-7 on Saturday to remain in the top spot in the NCAC standings and secure a spot in the 2013 NCAC Women's Lacrosse Tournament. Kenyon kept pace with Denison at the top of the standings by knocking off Hiram 18-1 and Worcester 14-8 in NCAC tilts last week. The ladies were led by this week's NCAC Women's Lacrosse Player of the Week selection, Leah Sack. The Wynwood, Pennsylvania native had an historic week as she set 3 separate NCAC records. After accumulating 12 assists on the week, Sack currently has 55 helpers on the year, which has surpassed the previous conference benchmark of 42 set by Katie Robbins of Wittenberg in 2001. In addition, Sack's 9-assist effort last week against Worcester ties the NCAC single-game record with Frankie DeLavis of Kenyon set on April 26, 2007. And finally, Sack currently owns 156 career assists, which stands as the top mark in the NCAC, surpassing current Wittenberg head coach and Worcester graduate Beth Heminger, who amassed 139 assists from 2000 to 2003. The NCAC Women's Lacrosse season will conclude this week, with 4 games each on Wednesday and Saturday. Following the completion of Saturday's games, the seeds for the 2013 NCAC Women's Lacrosse Tournament will be set. The tournament is scheduled to begin with semifinal games on Thursday, May 2nd, with the championship game set for Saturday, May 4th. We'll now wrap up this week's show by breaking down NCAC baseball and softball action from last week. First, in softball, DePaul has clinched at least a share of its first NCAC softball title after sweeping Allegheny in a pair of tightly contested one-run games on Saturday. And like women's lacrosse, the final 3 spots in the 2013 NCAC softball tournament field are still up for grabs, as Kenyon currently sits in second in the standings at 8-4. Allegheny and Denison are tied for third at 7-5. Wittenberg is 5th at 8-6. Hiram is 6th at 6-6. Ohio Wesleyan is 7th at 4-8. Worcester is 8th at 3-9, and Oberlin is 9th at 1-11. Wittenberg picked up 3 key NCAC wins last week, first sweeping DePaul on April 17th before splitting with Denison on April the 20th. The Tigers were led on the week in the pitching circle by junior Rachel Ross, who earned the victory in all 3 NCAC wins. The junior from Westerville, Ohio, pitched 3 complete games on the week, limited opponents to just 7 earned runs, and struck out 10 in 27 1/3 innings of work. Ross was named the NCAC Softball Pitcher of the Week for her efforts. Hiram also picked up 4 crucial wins last week as the Terriers swept Ohio Wesleyan on April 17th and Oberlin on April 21st. Junior Jessica Bolans took home her second NCAC Softball Player of the Week honor of the season after the Randolph, Ohio native batted .588 on the week with 4 homers, 1 double, 7 runs scored, and 10 RBI. Bolans hit her team and conference-leading 9th home run of the season in the doubleheader against Oberlin to break her own school record of 4 homers in a season of 8, which she set in 2011. The NCAC softball schedule will come to a close this week with 4 doubleheaders each on Wednesday and Saturday. Following Saturday's contest, the top 4 teams in the league standings will qualify for the 2013 NCAC softball tournament, which will be hosted by the top seed on May 3rd and 4th. And finally, we'll close out the show by looking at NCAC baseball action from across the conference last week. We enter the final week of the NCAC regular season with Worcester holding the top spot in the East Division standings at 10-2, while Denison stands alone atop the West Division standings after completing its regular season slate with a 10-6 record. Following next weekend's divisional series, matchups will be released next Monday for the following weekend's cross-divisional series, which will determine the 4 teams that will compete in the 2013 NCAC baseball tournament. Denison combined for a 4-2 record last week, including a 4-game series split with Wabash in the Big Red's final West Division series of the season. In DU's series split with the Little Giants, sophomore Nick Marcet went 9 for 15 at the plate with 2 RBI, 5 runs scored, and 1 stolen base. Marcet, who hails from Coral Springs, Florida, had 4 multi-hit games in the series against Wabash and finished the week with a combined average of .500, which included 2 doubles, 8 runs scored, 3 RBI, and 3 stolen bases. Marcet was named the NCAC Baseball Player of the Week for his efforts. In other league action, Wittenberg and Ohio Wesleyan also played to a 4-game West Division split in Springfield. The Tigers got a historic effort from this week's NCAC Baseball Pitcher of the Week selection, as senior Zach Fink threw the Tigers' first no-hitter since 1998 in a 6-0 win over the Battling Bishops on Sunday. Fink struck out 4 and allowed 2 walks and a hit batsman in the feet, which is thought to be just the 5th no-no in school history. In NCAC East Division play, Worcester took 3 of 4 from Oberlin, and Kenyon and Allegheny split a doubleheader on Sunday after Saturday's games were postponed due to inclement weather in Meadville. The Gators and Lords will wrap up their 4-game set tonight, with a twin bill being played at Slippery Rock University in Pennsylvania. The final weekend of the NCAC baseball season will feature 4 divisional series, including Allegheny hosting Worcester, Hiram traveling to Kenyon, Wittenberg entertaining DePaul, and Wabash visiting Ohio Wesleyan. NCAC sports fans, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from across the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can log on to our website at www.northcoast.org. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. And for the entire conference staff, I'm Brett Billhart, and thanks for watching.